Hang on. I goofed. This is the wrong version of the game. This is the one people want to see, I promise. It's so weird, like, we're playing the Japanese version of this game because it's by far the most meme-worthy, but it's also technically the harder of the two because of one of the memes. We'll explain that, though. Anyway, thanks y'all for tuning in. This is Pulirula. Somewhat well-known game in the arcade circuit. It's a fairly typical beat-em-up from Taito. It's actually really fun, and it has a really cool story to it. Learned it earlier this year, and things I've learned about this game, learning this 1cc is not difficult. Learning to 1cc this consistently is kind of annoying. I'm going to be straight up honest about that. It has some quirks that, to me, don't really lend themselves well to extended play. I did, however, clear with both characters. So there's that. It got the time it deserved. So let's see if I can go into a little bit about the story of this game. Thanks to my trusty Wikipedia article, I believe Aquas mentioned something about save the time, and that's completely accurate. So, takes, as you saw, the original English open scroll. It takes place in an area called Radish Land where time is kept correctly flowing with a time key. However, a bad man appeared and stole the time key to stop the flow. The towns were attacked one by one. The time flow was stopped, and they received damage, per the English translation. The two playable characters are requested by an old man to defend their town, and he gives them each a magic stick to fight with. There you go. A couple of things to note about this game. It's a 3-life game. You don't get any extends, but the most difficult part about this game, in my opinion, is the fact that health carries over from stage to stage. So there are no health refills for completing a stage. There are life ups. You do get those, but the fact that it doesn't refill between stages does make health incredibly precious. Anyway, between the two characters, Zach being assigned to player 1 always, like, that's just universal. If you go to the player 1 slot, you're always playing as Zach. And then Mel, who's on player 2, is the character we're going to be playing. She's definitely the better character of the two, and a lot less of her attacks are bad. She's not perfect by any means, but the attacks that she has that are useful are better than the ones Zach has that are useful. Just better hitboxes. I think magic is universal between the two, though I don't recall specifically. So, that said, let's go ahead and pop it in. We're playing as Mel. Wizard's going to send us off. We've got our stick. So on the ground, we have 3 different attacks in this game. Got this normal attack, which is just your basic attack. Then you got 2 command normals. You got this forward one, which has a lot of range, and this down one, which has a little bit more range, but even slower startup than the 2 previous. Well, to pass those guys, let's take us to our first boss. There's a quick kill I want to try and get here. I already didn't get it, but that's okay. A little scared now. Okay, there we go. The quick kill with better execution goes basic hit, command hit, basic hit, command hit, and they don't get to bounce out of the corner. We'll be seeing Pinocchio there a little bit later. Out of the clock we go. Move along. Okay, so Stage 2 is a bit more fleshed out than Stage 1. Stage 1 is 2 enemy sequences and then the boss, so not a lot to write home about there. As you can see, when we kill enemies, we unlock these cute little creatures, very similar to Sonic the Hedgehog. They can be collected for points, though, and points actually do matter in one regard. I know I mentioned no extends, but points matter in this game for a reason that is probably unique to this game. It adjusts what kind of magic you're able to use. Up top here is a little bit of a safe spot. Thank you to Iconoclast for showing that. You got me. That's fine. These guys are pretty annoying. Also of note, if you're doing a jump attack, which are useful in this game, you can't turn around your jump. How did you still get here? Please die. Thank you. Okay, these enemies we're going to be seeing a bit of. Important thing I learned, their projectile attacks actually don't do damage. But they do cause hit stun, which is relevant because they're able to get combos with other enemies pretty consistently. Do not like. This guy's pretty awful. Vertical spacing is really important for him, but his walk speed is also very fast, especially when he's going vertical. It's only 4 hits, but if he touches you, you might die. Okay, there we go. Okay, on to our boss, this peculiar looking thing here. We have a really cool quick kill here. If I can set it up, and of course I got a command normal, that's not good. So the quick kill is supposed to look like this. You get on one side and just hit 3 times. Of course I messed it up. There's a lot of input latency for command normals, which is really unfortunate because sometimes we'll get the really slow stuff when we need the fast stuff. For that fight, you should just be able to just drop in right on the right and do, I think, 6 attack chains and they're gone. But that's not important. Stage 3 is very important because this is the stage everybody remembers for this game, and there's 2 reasons why. You also have the phone ringing in the background. And here we have the other reason. These legs are the reason the Japanese version is the harder version. These don't exist in the world version. There's just nothing there. Okay, I got hit twice. That's not good. These green robots normally aren't a huge issue, but they're actually a problem here because of the freaking legs. Look at this tower defense I gotta put up with. Okay, so this could be a little bit peculiar. I'm hoping it's not. So we're gonna do here. These guys I'm just gonna try and avoid. And of course, you can fight these guys, but they have much better priority over you than in every respect. So, spawn these enemies. These enemies are pretty tricky and multiple, so we'll just use magic. Here comes our fairy friend. Cool thing about magic, you're invincible the entire time it's active. That'll take us to our boss, collect this platypus. It was most definitely a tongue, yes. So here we have another Kabuki guy. Other as in it was already in a previous game. That's unfortunate. You can bait out the attacks in the direction you want them to go in. That's gross. This guy is not behaving and I lost a life because of it. So what this guy will normally do is he'll do 3 hops and just movement patterns like you saw there. Sometimes he stops at 1 though, and when he does that and you're trying to hit him, it's really bad. As you saw there, I took a lot of damage and I lost a life. Not something you want to be doing this early in the game. And sometimes he can do it as a counterattack too, just something to be mindful of. You play this safer than I did. This fight's actually not that bad, but yeah, I shouldn't have done that. As I mentioned, health in this game is incredibly precious. You're better off just not dealing with the helicopter business. It's just gonna kill you. Out of the way. Chilling. Pretty simple fight as long as you want to play it safe, but I got agitated. It happens. The last 2 stages are going to be the real concern. So we rescued our friend, the orderly. He's going to send us that way. On to stage 4 of 6. Stage 4 is kind of interesting. We do see a number of new enemies. Dodge that. Robots by far the easiest enemies, though as mentioned before, the green ones can cause issues. New variant of this enemy. Those guys have projectiles that actually do damage, unlike the ones that spit stuff at you. These guys you want to space. Scorpion flowers are pretty awful. If you use anything but a command normal, you're getting tagged, so you're better off just spacing out. Here we go. that out. Okay, so, as mentioned before, these guys I tend to just avoid. They have really good hitboxes in their dash attack, and it's better just to try to not out-prioritize, to be honest. Turrets, we saw before, they can actually be even more annoying when they have cover. That was gross. Did not appreciate that at all. Get him to commit to a side. Oh yeah, he doesn't have to commit to a side. Forgot about that. Do that. Okay, so this can go one of two ways. There are some instances where these guys with the bouncing heads actually don't spawn. I haven't figured out what caused that to not happen. I don't know why I got hit there, but that's this game sometimes. This segment's really annoying when it wants to be, as you can tell. So here we have our Cotton knockoff. She kind of functions like a mid-boss, but is honestly pretty simple as long as you're able to dodge attacks. 4 hits and down. Alright, so we're chilling. Another segment of these guys. That was unfortunate. They had every piece of space covered there. Yeah, not great. So we're gonna get some life up here for our boss fight. Not much health, but we can use it. This fight's weird. So if you try to fight this snail the way you would fight most bosses, you know, try to fight it, it's actually a really hard fight. But there's a safe spot in the bottom right corner of the screen where you can hit him with command normals. That, okay. I guess I wasn't far back enough. That sucks. 1 life left. This is absurd. I don't know how this isn't working. Yeah, I don't understand. This is... I mean, obviously that's a 1cc rip, but I'm more confused as to why the spacing isn't working. Alright, so we'll try to finish it out. I don't get it. Normally you're supposed to chill out here, throw command normals at it, and be able to kill him. But he's actually able to get inside the spot that's normally supposed to be safe. I don't get it. This is very unusual. I don't even know what to do here. See, you don't want to move because the fire will snake like that, and it's really bad. And I don't know how to fight this thing normally, and I've never not seen the exploit from my runs or from anybody else's. I guess I just gotta wait it out. See, this is so strange because he's not even supposed to be able to do the eyeball attack. That's the other problem you run into. So he actually has really good melee, but with proper spacing, he's not supposed to be able to get him past it. Why it took this long to route itself properly is completely beyond me. Alright, we'll get something out of this, I guess. This is so bizarre. This is how it should have been from the start, but I just kind of got screwed for the sake of getting screwed, I guess. It's not an interesting boss fight once the strat works, but the strat didn't work from the get-go, so I have no clue what's going on. Yeah, the only proper way to fight this boss, if you're trying to 1cc it, is play safe, and he somehow got around the safety play. Oh, hey, cool. We just died due to time. I'll just try to finish off what I can. I'm just gonna grind out lives at this point, because this is kind of a disaster. Very much so. He came in again! What a douche! Oh, man. This game is marathon safe, let me tell you. Alright, so stage 5 is Stage 5 is interesting. It actually has... I don't think it has any new enemies, but it does have a revisit of some older ones. It does have some new variants on previous enemies, though. It also features a boss that has unique music, which is strange because you'd think that would be reserved for a final boss, but this isn't the final stage. These guys we've seen before. They can do a lot of damage if they combo properly. You can actually arrange all these by doing it in that order. Otherwise, you have to kill them all. Didn't mention this before, but these pumpkins do drop either magic or health. Most of them are fixed, but some of them are random. That one, I believe, always drops magic. And the guys with the spit straws aren't able to actually do damage to you. I'd rather just not fight the knight, so let's just call the animal stampede. This section's actually kind of tricky. Being up here at the top is completely safe to everything that isn't these flying enemies. You can kind of wait out most of it, but unfortunately them coming in means you do have to deal with them. So I tend to let the guys in the unicycles despawn themselves. Or try to. Good enough. Alright, so here's our boss. With his banger of a theme and his rhino horn. Pretty simple strat, actually. Hit him, go to the top or bottom, whichever realigns you. And of course, I dropped it right away. That's just how this game's behaving today. With the knockback, you'll be able to just go to the other side, come in and hit him. Let him realign with you, do it again, and then just time it from there. I don't know about that. That normally doesn't trade, but okay. Run's already a non-exhibition anyway. See if we can finish it properly. This is how it's supposed to go. But this game's got a mind of its own today, I guess. Shame. I had at least one good practice run prior. Too bad it couldn't be this run. That was a behind the back hit. That's rare. I actually have been anti-aired out of that before. His jab is very fast. What you want to do when you're realigning yourself to the top or bottom pixel is you want him to land either just above or just beneath you. Because if he lines up directly with you, then he has line of sight to attack. If he's just off your axis a little bit, he tries to realign himself, and that's when you have the opportunity to hit him. With proper execution, it's a pretty standard fight, but it's also one that's really easy to screw up. And that's not the first time it's happened. It actually happened quite a few times in like save state practice last week. Alright, stage 6 is most certainly the actual hardest stage. I did learn some strats for using magic, though. Go down here, try to blow up these turrets. I don't know how that missed, but here we are. I don't know how this game does much things today. Okay. Reappearance of Cotton. I actually love that Cotton sprite. These guys back. Yay, Microwave Man. I think his name is actually Rat Man, but he does this. Steals enemies, put them in the microwave. We're invincible the whole time, which is super lame. Ta-da! Great stuff. Alright, so this segment's a little weird. I tend to want the knight to appear first. Tornado's probably the actual best magic attack because it's the only one that can be carried from scene to scene. And it's duration based, so if we can kill this guy quickly enough, we'll be able to carry it over the next. We did not. That's unfortunate, but it happens. So another magic spell. I'm only going to make space to be able to use one more, and I know exactly where I want to use it. Right, this is a little scary. Lots of zoning going on. Didn't want to command normal there. Those aren't safe. It's these guys. Does make these things a little bit tricky. If these guys are on top of you, they can kill you. It's so weird. I really like the music in this stage, but it's not very befitting of a final stage. I did not want that to happen. This is gonna get awkward. Cool, it hit the one I didn't want to hit. Yep. Alright, normally turrets with Cotton is pretty bad, but turrets solo is effectively nothing. But their hurt boxes are awkward sometimes. There we go. And here's where I want to magic. Purple friend's gonna take everybody out. Gonna help him out a little bit. Not sure why he despawns right at the last enemy, and yes, the last enemy is a basic bitch robot, but he's out of here. Here our Pinocchio boss, reappearing from stage 1. There's a really cool kill setup you can get here. You want him to get that hit there, and then he's just gonna kind of go berserk and try to hit you, but you're on a safe pixel. Because when you hit him, you knock him into a pixel that he can't get out of. You just get to combo him to death. Weird little thing, but it's what it is. Normally involves having to take a hit to get there. Anyway, here we have our last boss. Our globe-trotting friend here, so to speak. Has a couple of magic attacks and the eyeball wall. Can't forget about that. Once the head falls off, he gets free wake up, so we dodge that. This guy also takes a lot of damage from normals. It's like 4 damage per hit or something. Means it'll be one more. Oh noes! We got the key piece back. We're gonna go hand it over to this guy, because he looks like a trustworthy individual. Except it's a reappearance of the final boss for his second form. Now this fight's actually worthy of a final boss. He can do some things. You can kind of just sit here and hit him most of the time. But there are things you definitely have to be mindful of. Like I want to try... I messed it. What I try to do is get him to face off screen. He's not. I shouldn't have jumped. That's fine. So this is kind of awkward. You don't want him to be able to face the center like he is right now. Not a good spot. Okay, let's see if I can get him to realign. Yeah, not good. You want him ideally to be just a little bit away from the edge. But if he's right at the edge, then he's just going to spam the center, and it's really hard to deal with. When he does that as a wake-up option, he's completely invincible, so we really don't have any recourse there. It's just what it is. If he does it normally, we can hit him out of it. Chillin'. Tend to try to get a jump attack out there. There's a bit of risk to that, because if he decides to do his wake-up option there, we actually have to deal with it on the other side, and that's not great. 2 on the other side, very good. Okay, so once the head starts falling off, that's when the magic comes out. Because his wake-up in a room this small is pretty miserable. And I'd rather just have the invincibility. He has health at 0 for whatever reason, but they'll take that out. And we lost the credit anyway. Oh well. It was already a very dead run as is. Man. I knew this game was cursed, but today took it to a new level, that's for sure. There were a lot of things that happened here that I've just never seen this game do before, so I don't have the words, to be perfectly honest. Appreciate the GGs, everybody. So we saved time. And for some reason, even though this is the Japanese version, the end credits are in English. Excuse me. You get a really cool ending credit sequence too. Yes, play Taito games. Taito games are great. That booty, though. Since we've got a little bit of time, I actually meant to submit this as a 25-minute estimate, but since we got a little bit of time, I'm going to see if I can, once the credits are finished, show off a couple of the quick kills that I was talking about earlier. Here's one of them. So what you want to do is be on the right side, do this. Easy peasy. And the reason it goofed is because I got input latency for a command normal at the very start of the fight, and that ruined everything, and I took damage. Check the snail fight. This fight's nothing to speak about. I got a ton of save states here. So for the snail, I still feel like this is the safe spot you want. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why this didn't happen the first time. Gonna bait himself in, he's gonna take a hit. Run was definitely cursed. You still have to catch him as he's moving, but the honest to goodness upside is that you can't get hit here. As long as you set it up properly to begin with. And I guess my goof on that was taking the health first, but I've been able to take the health previously and not had any issues. Weird. I don't even think range has so much to do with it. Like, he was getting to do attacks that he normally doesn't get to do. I think the positioning had more problems than just range. So, live and learn. Don't collect the health. Just get into the safe spot right away and just do what you do. Get this rad banger of a track, though. I do like the boss theme in this game. It's very unorthodox, but so is this game. Yeah, as long as you're here, the fire has no way to track you. It keeps trying to go down because you're on bottom pixel, but it can't move. Very advantageous. Dude, forgot. Missed it. He still came in. Downside of a slow fight. Yeah, I've seen combo kills on them. They're hard. they're obviously they're possible, but they're not easy. Don't think I'm gonna show off the stage 5 guy, but those I think were important to be able to express properly, especially the stage 2 boss. I was pretty unhappy I missed that, but anyway, it's gonna actually be a few minutes before we get our next run going, so we appreciate everyone's patience. May have an ad break here in just a moment, but we'll be back with Bad Rito running a couple games, including the way underutilized and underexpressed Osman, which is a game I'm a huge fan of. Anyway, y'all stick around, and we'll be back soon.